I want to talk to you about Livestream versus Avan versus Upstart. And this will be a comparative analysis of personal loans. And so here are the lenders I want you to pay attention to. First, I want to start with the Livestream. So when you think about Livestream, what should you be thinking about? Well, what we love about Livestream is that right off the bat, you have a very, very, very generous lender, kind of similar to SoFi. Livestream will approve you for a maximum loan amount of $100,000. And at the lower end, you have a 5,000. So it goes from 5,000 to $100,000. But also the APR is pretty interesting in the sense that the APR ranges from 7% all the way to 25%. So that's kind of cool. But in terms of FICO score, Livestream is a little more high. So they will approve you from 600 to 680. So that's the minimum FICO score. And in terms of the repayment window, you are really well served because you have a 144 a month. So we are looking at 12 years. That's really crazy, but that's really good too. I mean, we love it. And in terms of speed of funding, you can actually be approved on the same day that you can receive your funds on the same day you are approved, by the way. And you can be approved within 24 hours. There is no origination fee, so we love that a lot. So long story short, when you think about Livestream, I want you to think about pluses such as your ability to fund loans for a range of purposes, from buying a car to financing a horse. Okay, you can borrow from $5,000 to $100,000. You don't have a lot of lenders that actually give you a 6-digit loan amount. So Livestream does it, and you pay no origination fee, no prepayment fee or late fee. So that's kind of cool. And on the flip side, with Livestream, online pre-approval is not available. I mean, this is a bummer. They used to have it back in the days, but now they don't have it anymore. But Livestream, by the way, is actually owned by Truist. Truist actually, which came up as a merger of BB&T and SunTrust Bank. And borrowers can access only fixed rate loans, and loans of less than $5,000 are not available on Livestream. So this is something to really think about. But overall, a fantastic tool. One thing I want to say about Livestream is that Livestream is actually great for people with good to excellent credit, people who don't want to pay loan fees, and people who want an online application process. To qualify, the process is pretty straightforward. Okay, this lender actually requires good and sometimes fair if you have a good relationship with Truist, but usually it's good to excellent credit. Okay, and so you want to have several years of credit history at a minimum, stable and sufficient income and assets to repay your debts, experience with different types of credit such as credit cards, auto loans, and mortgages, evidence of savings such as retirement savings and college savings account. And you also want to have a positive payment history with few, if any, problems repaying debt. Now, the thing is that if you have a relationship with Truist, the parent company of Livestream, that's even better. Now, when you apply, you will need to provide personal and contact information, your social security number, the desired loan amount and term, employment information, and estimates of your assets, such as savings or retirement accounts, and also the amount of your monthly housing payments. Because Livestream wants to actually verify your DTI, your debt to income ratio. Okay, and Livestream is based in San Diego, and they actually lend to borrowers nationwide. So they are available in all 50 states. I mean, some lenders are not available in some states, but Livestream is available in all 50 states. So that's kind of cool. And so to apply for a Livestream personal loan, go to Livestream and click the blue Apply Now button. Select the purpose of your loan and request a loan amount and term to see a monthly payment and an annual percentage rate for the loan. You want to enter your personal employment and financial information as requested, and you want to submit your application. Okay, I mean, nowadays it's not really what we love about the Livestream is that they are really fast. I mean, they're really fast and they are really reputable too. I mean, for instance, on Trustpilot, they actually have a 4.8 to 4.9 stars. So that's kind of cool. And Livestream has been in this business for a lot of years. So that counts for something, right? Experience. having a proven track record. I want to talk to you now about the second player. So we have Avan. So when you think about Avan, what should you thinking about? What should you be thinking about? Well, first of all, the loan amounts are lower. So you have a $2,000 all the way to $35,000. Avan is a fintech, and the APR range is also higher. So they charge from 10% to 36%. Minimum credit score, they're more reasonable, quote unquote reasonable, in the sense that they will approve you from 575 to 600. That's the minimum. And the loan term, we are looking at what? 60 months. 60 months. And the time to fund next day. And there is no origination fee on this loan amount. So we love that a lot. So with Avan, borrowers with bad or fair credit scores can qualify. Funds, you have funds for unsecured personal loans that are generally deposited the next business day after approval. So that's kind of cool in terms of use of loan proceeds, the speed. We love that. And also, you have unsecured loan amounts that starts at $2,000. Now, the only thing we don't like with Avan is that they are charging you an administration fee of up to 4.75%. Sometimes they call it origination fee. Sometimes they call it administration fee, but it's the same thing. They charge you up to 4.75%, and you have a potentially high APR. Think about it. The maximum APR here is actually the maximum allowed by law, which is 35.99%. Okay, but overall, what we love about Avan is that Avan, we think, is best for individuals who need their loan funds real fast. Okay, if you're really if you are Russian, that's the lender you want to go to. If you have a FICO score of 575 to 600, you will love Avan. And if you actually prefer to complete the loan process online, it's really fantastic. And also, what we love about Avan is that you have a pre-qual process. In other words, you can have a soft pull on this loan, not a problem. Okay, and so this is kind of cool. And one thing I want to say also is that you are able to do everything online, and even through the mobile app. So you don't have to do anything on desktop if you don't want to. If you want to apply via the mobile app, that's really possible too. In terms of geographical coverage, Avan is not available in all 50 states, so that's really that's disappointing in our view. Avan provides loans in 42 states. So people who live in Massachusetts, Michigan, Montana, Nebraska, New York, Vermont, Virginia, and West Virginia will not be able to receive a loan through Avan. So it is what it is. I mean, they're still working to get their licenses in those states, but right now they're not there yet. Okay. So to apply for an Avan loan, you actually will begin with an online pre-qual form, which asks for basic information, including name and address, monthly income, monthly mortgage or rent payment, and how much you want to borrow, right? Pretty straightforward. And if you qualify, Avan will offer you a loan. And once you select a loan, Avan will actually request documents such as bank statements and check stubs. And this lender actually requires you to validate your identification by asking you a series of questions that only you can answer, called knowledge-based authentication. Avan may also call your employer to check that you work there. And Avan also uses soft credit inquiries, which do not hurt credit scores, right? For pre-qualification, and after you choose an offer, they actually use a hard credit check when you submit your loan application. And the cool thing is you can actually complete the entire personal loan process online from pre-qualifying to closing. So you can do everything online. That's really fantastic. That's really what we love a lot in terms of flexibility. Okay. Plus, you can actually manage your account online or through Avan's app. So that's kind of cool. And Avan often deposits money as soon as the next business day after loan approval, but the exact time will actually depend on your bank. So that's kind of cool. But overall, in terms of reputation, fantastic. I mean, this is a great lender. They actually have received 23 to 25,000 reviews on Trustpilot, and they have averaged over the last few years an average of 4.6 out of 5 stars, which is really great. I mean, you think about it, that's really fantastic. You're looking at what, 90%. So that's really commendable. We love that a lot. I want to talk to you now about Upstart. So we are still having a conversation about LightStream versus Avan versus Upstart. And so when you think about Upstart, I want you to think about a lender that's very flexible in terms of loan amounts and very generous too, because Upstart will give you $1,000 all the way to $50,000. In terms of credit score, they take everything. Upstart will take everything. They take minimum credit score 300. And in terms of loan term, up to 60 months, okay? And there is no origination fee. And the APR ranges from 7% all the way to 36%. Upstart is actually a fintech, so that's something good to know. So what are the pluses and minuses here? So in terms of pluses, funding, you have funding as soon as the next business day. And bad or no credit applicants are accepted. And you have lower APRs are available for eligible borrowers. On the flip side, Upstart does not allow co-signers, and you have origination fees as high as 12%. So that's kind of high, but hey, listen, it is what it is. And Upstart personal loans can be used for a variety of purposes, such as debt consolidation, home improvement, or even covering moving expenses. So that's kind of cool in terms of giving you flexibility. So we love that a lot. And so Upstart, in our view, is actually great for people who have a bad or no credit, people who want a personal loan with fast funding, and people who want actually the option to manage their loan within a mobile app. So if you want to have this flexibility, then Upstart is actually a great lender for you, okay? But if you want to actually qualify for an Upstart personal loan, you need to have a valid social security number. You got to be at least 18 years or older. You got to be a U.S. citizen. You got to have a minimum credit score of 300 or be able to show an education and employment history. Okay. You got to have an email account. You got to have minimum income of $12,000 per year. So here we are speaking about gross income of $1,000 at least a month. You got to actually have a U.S. bank account with a routing number, because they will actually through Plod, they will make sure that you do have an account, and they will check the balance on that account. You got to live in a state that Upstart services. You got to actually have no bankruptcies within the last 3 years. So within the last 3 years, there shouldn't be any bankruptcy in your record, and you got to have no delinquent account. And you may need to provide proof of identity, such as a government issued ID, proof of income, such as pay stub or a tax return, and other documents as requested. So something to really think about, okay? Now, the thing is that Upstart is not really, they're not present in all 50 states. So that's something that you need to really know. And so, and one thing for sure, residents of the following states and territories are not eligible to receive loans from Upstart. So American Samoa, Connecticut, DC, so District of Columbia, Guam, Hawaii, Iowa, Maine, Maryland, New York, Nevada, Northern Mariana Islands, Oklahoma, Oregon, Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, Vermont, and West Virginia. So that's something to really think about. Now, Upstart, actually, as I said a little earlier, they actually they were founded in 2012. So that's about 12 years that they have been in operation. But what we love about Upstart is that the company uses artificial intelligence to connect borrowers with lenders willing to extend them credit. And Upstart accepts applicants with credit scores as low as $300, and a minimum income of $12,000. Okay, and so that's kind of cool. So to actually apply for an Upstart personal loan, the process is pretty straightforward. Nothing really complicated here. So what you want to do is you want to pre-qualify first. So Upstart allows you to pre-qualify and review your potential rate in about 5 minutes. This includes what? It includes a soft credit inquiry and does not affect your credit score. And you can actually request your loan amount, and then you can apply. By the way, that's pretty straightforward. Okay, you can apply, and you will typically find out right away if you are approved for an Upstart personal loan. Your credit will face a hard inquiry when you apply, and this may affect your credit score. And then you have to actually choose your loan term. You can choose anywhere from a few months to 5 years, and you need to actually provide requested documentation, and you just receive the funds. So that's something to really think about. But overall, Upstart is a pretty reputable lender. Okay, they have about 50,000 ratings on Trustpilot, and they have a 4.9 out of 5 stars. So this is really fantastic. This is a great lender that actually knows how to really handle its borrowers. So basically, Livestream versus Avant versus Upstart, which one should you go for? But before I actually tell you our preference, it's important to really understand that when we talk about choosing the right personal loan, you got to have a clear idea of what you're looking for, right? You got to really understand that you have things like the loan amounts, the loan repayment tenure, the lenders, the credit score, the interest rates, the EMI calculation. Those will have an impact on your loan amounts, the origination fees, foreclosure and prepayment charges, especially if you are having like if you have a history of a past foreclosure. This could affect your loan payments, and you got to think about other charges as well. One thing for sure, when we think about you choosing between Livestream or Avan or Upstart, you gotta always take your current liabilities into account, so that you have a clear idea about your CUR, but also your like CUR actually is your the amount of credit that you currently have versus your income, right? This is an important element to think about. But you also have to think about your DTI, so your debt to income ratio. This is why you have to take your current liabilities into account, because the more liabilities you currently have, the higher your DTI, and you do not want to have a high DTI. At least lenders do not like borrowers who have a high DTI. One thing I want to say here is that when we think about you choosing between those three players, you got to always ask yourself, what are your resources? Because I mean, you can get any loan anytime, but your ability to repay the loan that you just got is going to determine whether or not you could qualify for future credit transactions. Okay. And one thing I also want to say also is that you have to also think about the loan repayment tenure. In other words, the loan repayment window. Is it 5 years, 7 years, or 10 years? You got to really see what works for you, right? Because at the end of the day, this is actually this is an important criterion when it comes to solidifying your ability to repay the loan you just got. So what is our choice here? Livestream versus Avan versus Upstart. Which one should you go for? Our preference is very simple. Upstart is the best in our view, because Upstart is really the more flexible. They actually will they will consider your application even if you have a FICO score of 300. That's really good. However, Upstart does charge you origination fees, and their APR is usually high. So it's something to think about. And they give you anywhere from $1,000 to $50,000. And but Upstart is the best in our view. Livestream is actually even better than Upstart if you have good to excellent credit. If you have good to excellent credit, you want to go with Livestream. You do not want to go to Upstart, because the Livestream gives you up to $100,000, and the APRs are relatively lower. So the bottom line here in today's conversation, I give you a quick compare and contrast between Livestream, Avant, and Upstart. I actually give you the lenders, the overview, our choice, and the bottom line. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.